flying past the snow-capped volcanoes of the Andes into the Amazon rainforest for the rumble in the jungle, the biggest environmental slugfest in world history. This is the battleground, the rainforest of Ecuador, as large as England, where the Amazon's waters begin their 4,000-mile journey to the ocean. To find Chevron's opponents, you need to take a little boat ride. Deep in the rainforest are the Cofan Indians. No one knows how many thousands of years they've been here, living off what they could hunt, fish, and craft from the river and jungle.
We use this to carry yuca, banana, corn, and little animals we hunt. In the old days, we hunted with blowpipes. Now I have a shotgun.
Their main meal used to be monkey, but today's menu is chicken. In 1972, a helicopter landed and everything changed. Chief Emergildo Criollo says the oil company obtained permission to drill from the Cofan, speaking in Spanish, which the Indians didn't understand.
They give us candy, sugar, diesel fuel, and cheese. The cheese smelled funny. We threw it into the jungle. They say we could rub oil on our skin to cure aches and pains.
Oh, so they told you that if you put oil on your skin, it would make you better?
Sí, eso dijo, sí.
Speaking in Cofan, Cecilia Kenama said she lost a daughter to the pollution. I asked her why she blamed the oil companies.
Many children have died of strange new diseases only since the drilling began.
Yo perdí dos hijos.
I lost 2 sons. My 3-year-old went swimming and began to vomit blood.
The Cofan say the damage to their health was caused by Chevron Texaco. Chevron says that's nonsense. Let's go find out. Ooh. This pit is the result of an accidental puncture to a wellhead. Now, Texaco said that when it was operating these wells, you didn't have many of these accidents. But that's maybe because of this. It says personal and confidential. It says reports are to be removed from the field division offices and destroyed. Like that. If you were here with me, you could smell it. Yum. The Cofan say this is standard operating procedure. They drink this stuff. They swim in it. And they breathe it. In Texas, they call this sky dumping. That's not Chevron smoke. It's Ecuador's own state oil company, Petroecuador. Chevron's long gone. I can't show you all the leaking pits. There are over 200 on the lands of the Indians and settlers. Like this one. Most people would be thrilled to find oil on their property, but not Manuel Salinas. All he's got out of it, he says, is an empty oil drum, pustules all over his arms, and a stomach ailment slowly eating him alive.
I suffered these terrible, terrible rashes. It feels like my head is splitting apart.
And it's back over the Andes volcanoes, to the other side of the mountain, for the other side of the story. Now it's Chevron's turn. Satanic polluter or innocent victim? Let's ask him.
Scientifically, has nobody proved that crude causes cancer. Okay?
I asked Chevron's lawyers about the rising number of cancers among Indian children.
Did they show you a medical certificate?
No.
And it's the only case of cancer in the world? How many cases of children with cancer you have in the States, in Europe, in Quito? If there is somebody with cancer there, first they have to prove that it's caused by crude or by petroleum industry. And second, they have to prove that it is our crude, which is absolutely impossible. Hiya!
So the Indians are attempting to do the impossible. They've put on war paint and feathers, and, heavily armed with lawyers, they are filing a new lawsuit. They are demanding no less than $12 billion from Chevron Texaco to clean up their forest. A bunch of natives in feathers in the jungle demanding $12 billion from an international oil company would be just a sad joke. But across the Andes, in Ecuador's capital, something happened which changed everything. An uprising of indigenous tribes and urban poor, when I was here 2 years ago, forced the president to flee out the back door of the presidential palace. In new elections, the left whips George Bush's allies with the campaign theme song, the 1980s Twisted Sister hit, "We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore." The new government kicked out the last of the big U.S. oil companies, Occidental Petroleum, and just this month, Ecuador's new president, Rafael Correa, flew to Saudi Arabia to rejoin the OPEC cartel and told George Bush to shut down the U.S. military base in Ecuador unless Bush gave Ecuador a base in Florida. Behind little Ecuador is big Venezuela and its larger-than-life leader, Hugo Chavez.
Buenos días a toda Venezuela.
Chavez has given Ecuador $250 million and the political weapons to stand up to George Bush. But Chevron has a few friends in Washington. U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice served on Chevron's corporate board for 10 years and is the only member of George Bush's cabinet who can carry 30 million gallons of crude oil. Chevron named a supertanker after her. Now, Chavez stands with Ecuador's leaders, and Ecuador's leaders are standing with those suing Chevron.